Hello, everyone. This is part 3 of how to use the modes of scales for your own music. In the last lesson, we explained the role of the natural minor scale and elaborated on its relationship to the major scale. If you recall in part 1 of how to use the modes of scales, a mode in simplified terms is a different flavor to your major scale, and you unlock this flavor by simply starting your melody on a different note than the first note in the major scale selected. We now know there are 7 modes total for the major scale, named Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. The major scale default mode is Ionian. In the previous lesson, we emphasized the 6th mode, called the Aeolian mode, which is also called the natural minor scale. And this mode is the relative minor scale to every major scale. Also, the fact that the major scale has 2 other modes that relate to it directly, the Mixolydian and Lydian modes. Now, the reason why we elaborated on the natural minor scale before moving forward with the relationship of modes outside of Ionian, Mixolydian, and Lydian are tonally related to the natural minor scale. So for clarity, the major scale defaults to the Ionian mode. The 2 modes tonally related to it are the Lydian and Mixolydian modes. So when producing music, if you have a sound you have picked out that you want to use as your central melody or tone, and you want a more upbeat track, you will either be staying in Ionian, which is a major scale, or you can choose a related but alternative tonal center and utilize the Lydian or Mixolydian modes. Now, you have the natural minor scale, which is accessible from the major scale by pressing the number 6 on the keyboard and using the Aeolian mode. And the modes that tonally relate to the natural minor scale and Aeolian mode are the Dorian mode, Phrygian, and Locrian modes. Those modes are tonally related to the minor scale Aeolian mode. Now, if you have a sound that you picked out and you want to use your central melody or tone and you want it to sound a little bit more thoughtful or emotional, you will be starting in the minor scales and have a tonal center geared more towards the Dorian, Phrygian, and Locrian modes. So that concludes our lesson, part 3 on the series of modes. The Scale Clip is an app that gives you access to over 150 scales and modes. It complements your digital audio workstation and serves as your compass to infectious melodies, now half off for a limited time at www.soundguns.com.